All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this off. I'd like to welcome everybody today. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you're at. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Josh Krittlebaugh. I'm a Senior Solutions Strategist here at Aviatrix. And with me today, we're happy to have Amar Kalpakate, who is our Senior Technical Marketing Engineer. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A and the chat, preferably the Q&A if you have any questions, and we'll be monitoring those and making sure to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. We are very excited today to be talking about a new feature that Aviatrix is offering called Network Behavior Analytics. And in Network Behavior Analytics, we'll be talking about fingerprinting your cloud network. And we will also be talking about how to secure your cloud. So in today's world, we've found that everybody wants to be moving to the cloud. The cloud has been part of the enterprise infrastructure and roadmap for a long time, and really we're here now. Now, the big piece that enterprises are realizing that is different and can be very challenging is how do we properly secure the cloud network? The cloud today presents many new vectors for attacks, and it also provides many new opportunities for us to defend and protect our infrastructures. Some of the major challenges that we are running in today are things around visibility. We all know that there's a stance with the cloud network providers that security is a shared responsibility. And as security professionals and cloud professionals, we understand that that is not the reality. We have an expectation and an obligation to protect and secure our environments. Now, many times today, we're taking our traditional solutions, be it firewalling or edge defense, VPNs, and we're bringing those to the cloud with us. And the issue that we're running into with those today is that those are usually single points of inspection. Normally, they're database and signature-based, and really, they're not very cloud aware. And finally, the business risk is extremely high. One of the big fundamental pieces of cloud is that our servers can be directly connected to the internet. Well, the issue with this is we don't have the ability to always visualize and see that traffic if it's going outside of our control. Okay, click for me. Thank you. So I'd like to just touch back a little bit on an announcement we made around 4 months ago now, where Aviatrix announced ThreatIQ with a feature called ThreatGuard. And ThreatGuard is using the data plane of Aviatrix, able to do signature-based identification, and it is able to stop traffic that is known as malicious. So as you can see here, we have traffic coming through that is being classified as a miscellaneous attack based on the source and destination, and it's being flagged by ThreatGuard. Go ahead and click that one more time for me. Within our cloud environments, we now have the ability with CoPilot to dive in and visualize our cloud networks and find out exactly where those attacks are occurring and stop them at the source. Click one more time for me. We know that these attacks are coming from all over the world. And so what we like to be able to do is give a visualization for our customers within CoPilot what those attacks are and where they're coming from and where they're going. Click. And that brings us to what we're really excited to announce today is Network Behavior Analytics. So Network Behavior Analytics began with the conversation of, we now know the known bad locations. What about everything else? So what we decided to do was we wanted to build a fingerprinting capability for your network. We want every piece of network traffic that traverses through the Aviatrix backbone to be recognized and targeted as whether it is a known or an unknown piece of traffic. What it will then do is it will identify traffic when it is acting in an abnormal way. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work with Amar, and he's going to give us a demonstration on how we can configure and deploy network behavior analytics within our cloud environments.
Thank you, Josh. So let's walk through the setup. So when the user starts setting up, this is where the user start actual configuration. And the user go to CoPilot, security, and anomaly detection. And you see, like, as of now, none of the VPCs are being monitored, right? Maybe he will go and click on this and click a bunch of these VPC selections and click next. So what happens is, as I said, he will collect 4 VPCs. So whatever is marked as green here are newly added VPCs and new VNets, right? Learning period is set only for newly added VPCs. So what exactly you do is basically all these newly added VPCs, you set a learning period of 8 weeks. And once you newly add VPC and does not change any learning period already monitored VPC. So in reality, you cannot change the learning period, but technically you can, right? There are minimum 2 weeks you need to set, or maximum up to 52 weeks you can go and change it. Here, he would also get learning period of 8 weeks here in this scenario, meaning that first 8 weeks he is not receiving any alert or anomalies about these VPCs that are being monitored. Apart from that, he will also set the sensitivity of receiving alerts, which is high. Any smallest change in the traffic pattern should be alerted and then save it. So you might be thinking why the sensitivity level should be set high. The sensitivity controls the level of statistical confidence required to raise an alert. So low sensitivity means high confidence is required and vice versa. For example, to see events immediately, if only a few data points have breached the threshold, select high sensitivity. Now, if you look at, and one more point I forgot to mention, you might be thinking what different kind of information we are capturing or collecting for the VPC. We are capturing number of instances in the VPC, the total bytes going into the VPC, total bytes going out of the VPC, egress, ingress packet, plus the total unique IP addresses that VPC talking to, ports, and the countries. So all these 4 VPCs are being monitored for learning period of 8 weeks. And you see that the moment it added, it will show 4 in learning phase. If you added new and the existing is learning, it will also show you the newly added. Here in this eye icon, you can click on it and you can see what exactly going on. If you look at during this 8 weeks, during these 8 weeks, you can still go back and add more VPCs and change the learning period to 12 weeks. Right. So what it says is it does not change the learning period for already monitored VPC in VNet, which you already see here. So new selected VPCs are configured for 12 weeks. If you remove any VPC, will be removed from the monitoring. And as I said to you, like you can minimum say 2 weeks and maximum 52 weeks. If you really want to set the learning period in between, make sure that it should be in between this. Now, I just said like previously it was four VPCs added for 8 weeks, and just now two more added for 12 weeks. So there are total six, but two are still in learning phase. And the moment you click on the I button here, you will immediately see like the same thing, like four are completed and two are still available, which is to learning phase. Now, after doing all the configuration, you will come to the dashboard where bunch of information, very useful information for you and the security team is available. So to look at, if you look at here, you can filter with date selection. 18, in this case, we have set 18 February to 25th of February. Between these days, we have received 375 total anomalies. 3 VPCs out of 4 are anomalies, and metric rising anomalies are 7. And those are based on total bytes, bandwidth, egress traffic, ingress traffic. And all these are, this is a breakdown of anomaly by VPC, like anomaly by VPC, deviation. If you look at cumulative anomalies, anomaly 100 anomalies on February 18 accumulated over the day that we started detecting anomalies. Below, you can see the report it shows, and you can download these reports for auditing. And this is how the entire analytics, the NVA feature can give you so much useful information. This is my last slide. Josh, thank you everyone for attending this event. If there are questions in the chat, Josh, please take it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Amar. No, I'm very excited to have this new feature being put into CoPilot. So one of the questions that we had, Amar, would be for you, was around the time that you are setting where you set the number of weeks. And it looked like in the slide deck that we said 8 and 12. Is that a customizable field?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. See, as I said to you, it's practically, technically it is possible, but there's a clear message while adding and modifying this thing. If the learning period, it is clearly mentioned here, just to read, if even is not clear, the learning period is set only for the newly added VPC and does not change any learning period for already added. So when you are adding, you have opportunity, but the existing one, you are not basically, you can't, because there is no point, right? Let's assume that you have added for 2 weeks, and when I change back to, let's say you added for 3 weeks and want to change for 2 weeks, I think there is no point, because you already learned so much of anomalies and alerts, and you really want to go and get more to generate, to see what's happening with that particular VPC or particular instances, etc. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that was a great question, great answer. We got another question. So are the anomalous traffics trend-based? The example is it strange ports, traffic types, MBAR style DPI type things? So maybe would you be able to go over what are the trends that we'll be looking for to be able to generate and create the anomaly alerts?
Yeah, let's say, if I understand the question correctly, as I said, like we are capturing a lot of information, right? And the one you mentioned is already into what we capture. Apart from that, like we also take into account the egress, ingress packets, the we basically also see the behavior of the VPC and VNet, capture pattern of how traffic goes in and out to the VPC. And at the end of the day, we also learn about VPCs for a user specific amount of time, and after that detects any aberration traffic. Um, so so many things, and based on that, like I said, based on that, we try to see what is the change in the pattern, right? And based on that, should be alerted, and basically that's where the information is basically provided on the dashboard, as well as the users can take action if we need it. Yeah. I hope that answers.
Yeah, no, that's great, Amar. And I think the big thing too, with how traffic is being fingerprinted, is the beauty of the anomaly detection is that this is baselined on what your network is doing. So we keep things like destination IP, port that is being accessed, the total amount of bytes, egress and ingress that is being passed from your VPC. We also keep the number of instances within the VPC in this anomaly detection. And what we use that for then is to say, are you able, or are you still going to this traffic? And based on the slider, how much deviation are you allowed to go to before I alert you?
Exactly.
The last question that came in was about alert fatigue. And myself, coming from the network engineering background, alert fatigue was a very real and large monster in our life. And what we found is with network behavior analytics, we are able to actually help reduce the real-time alerts in using conjunction with other alerting as a companion to your other security tools. You're able to reduce the time to troubleshoot and resolve malicious activity based on, is this going to a malicious IP, or is this doing something that this application has never done before? A great analogy would be is with my credit card. I live in the greater Seattle area. If I'm driving around and I'm swiping my credit card at different companies in this area, my bank doesn't care. That is expected normal behavior for myself. Now, if my credit card ends up on the other side of the world and it starts swiping, my bank then is going to say, hey, this is out of the norm of what you do, and it's going to raise an alert. And that is the beauty of the anomaly or network behavior analytics, is that it says this is what you normally are doing, and this is where we're going to go. And I don't see any other questions in the Q&A. Why don't you jump to that next slide, and we'll talk about some of the upcoming events.
Sure.
So everyone's aware. Once again, would love to invite you all to participate in the poll that will be at the end of this. It's just a really short survey. Also invite you all to March 8th. We're going to be talking about stopping unseen and malicious behavior in OCI. And then on March 10th, we're going to be having our Cloud Pragmatist webinar, where we'll be talking about preparing for new security risks and opportunities. And like always, ACE multi-cloud network certification. We are a true multi-cloud certificate authority. We will help you and your org be able to prepare and be masters of the multi-cloud universe that we're dealing with. Also, would love to put a quick pitch out for the network cloud checklist, making sure that you know the basic things that need to be in your VPCs and accounts when you have your secure cloud, to build your secure cloud network. And if you ever have any questions or want to have a review or architectural discussion, we have people that are ready and willing to have that through a live chat feature on our website. Just love to thank you all again for your time and participation today, and hope you all have a great rest of your day.